One tribe, a reminder of a place once lived, where real equality and community existed, free from judgment, free from the system of fear and control, a place where connection can lead to possibilities, and a space where creativity has no restrictions, a path through the unknown, not knowing where one's going to end up, but having the faith of knowing things are going to work out. A realization that the ocean is a thread that connects all the lands and all the tribes of people. A feeling of being connected to something greater than one's own singular life. A greater realization that no man is an island. Instead, a critical piece that makes up this collective consciousness. A part of time where the past, present and future coexist. A place of magic where thoughts become things. A greater understanding that by living in harmony with nature, one gains a healthy mind, body and spirit. A universal space where energy, frequency and vibration merge into one. And a great knowing that together as one, we can make a difference. Welcome to One Tribe.
Too many. I swore I'd never do it again in the last 4 years. So, but actually, leading into this year, I kind of was at ease with where I am and where I was at, and considering going back to university and just doing some other things, I feel like it just put me in a good headspace. That in past years I probably put way too much pressure on myself, and yeah, that was my downfall. Defining moment. Probably when my mate, Tim Stevenson, paddled out in the morning, in the dark, the day of the trials, with 2 of his surfboards, and let me try both of them. And I caught one wave on one of them and I said, no, that doesn't feel good. So he gave me the other one and I was able to catch a couple of waves in the morning, and yeah, I rode that board for the rest of the day and throughout the event, and yeah, I guess that defined it.
Victorian serving family. In relation to Jack.
Never think this was a surfboard factory out here, would you? But welcome to the Chook Shed. Alright, come on in. My dad, obviously, being Maurice and being the lunatic shaper surfer, you know, he's got that many different names that everyone calls him, you know, like I'm just, so growing up around the surf industry, you know, I grew up in France and we used to have, I think we had every single summer we would have just dozens of people sleeping in board bags on the balcony and through the house, and everyone would be surfing, we'd be making big passes together, and it was just, again, this sense of just this big surfing community all getting together. So I just grew up around it.
There's no wind, it's sheet glass. And I said, give me that thing. Righto, you're tripping out, what's wrong with you? And I got the first one and it wasn't a very big wave. And I sort of just felt it out, and I could hear the fins and the water coming off the edges. Like this magic. I went, get me another one. Bloody wave of the day came through and he got me in so deep. I went into it. It was 20 plus or something. And I've just gone, oh, here we go. And I saw the zero, and then it happened pretty quick. But it was so big, and then just as it started, the spit hit me, and it sort of launched me out, and I went into this cut bag with the best. I was 53 years of age. How old are you? 51. You've got two more years to get to my age and have the best wave of your life. How good does that sound?
The spirituality side of it, I guess it goes back to that thinking bigger than just yourself, which that's where it goes into the community aspect as well, that it's bigger than just me. It's we are one as a community, as a group of people, or as an area. And when you have that sense of community, it really gives you that sense of responsibility that I need to be part of this and I need to be 100% with this. And that's where I probably think that's where people will kind of, when they get given a sense of responsibility, that's when people stand up and they will absolutely go forward in strides. And yeah, with the spirituality side of it, it definitely, when you have that, I guess it's a bit of an enlightenment at some point, and mindfulness and things that we really should be really putting into our lives. And that's when you have those realizations of the importance of community and of well-being within ourselves. That's when we do tend to make those big changes in our lives.
Yeah, a lot of our ideas, we come from working closely with our team riders. We try and draw as much inspiration from what they're doing and how they surf and how they act and what they do in and out of the water. We also look, outside the surf industry for ideas, because to be honest, the surf accessories game was pretty boring. Everyone was just pumping out the same ranges year after year, and we kind of looked at it and we thought it could be done a lot better. So we looked at different materials and, different industries, and took some ideas from those things, like, the soles on runners and how they look and feel and things like that, and tried to sort of, bring it across to surf. But yeah, we try and look outside of the actual surf industry and what other people are doing for our ideas, because, there's other industries we think are doing things better. So we draw inspiration from those guys and then go from there. Creative inspiration through surfing. I think I had a good chat to a mate on the phone earlier, actually, about a friend who's sort of just got into surfing the last couple of years, and he is just that psyched on surfing. He's up early. He's just comes in smiling. He doesn't surf that good, but he's definitely the person having the most fun. And I just look at him and I'm like, that's how I want to enjoy surfing, which is pretty cool. And then taking my little boy who's 5 surfing and just seeing the thrill he gets, it just brings me back to when I was a kid. Surfing became more competitive and serious for me for a long time, and now it's just about enjoying it and passing it on to family. And yeah, I get inspired from the ones who are just having the most fun, just laughing and enjoying wipeouts and everything that's thrown their way. Yeah, surf culture, it's an interesting one. There's now wave pools and stuff, which, back when I was younger, I used to draw them in my school books thinking, oh, imagine if this ever happened. And all of a sudden it's become a reality from, Kelly Slater. But yeah, surf culture's an interesting one. I think, the surf industry's kind of changed a lot. It's, some of the big brands like Quicksilver and Billabong have, sort of sold out to, these corporate conglomerates, and it's definitely not how it used to be. But I think, the actual culture in general, the guys who are at the beach every day, I think it's fantastic. You see guys who you might have seen in the surf down the street, and instantly you kind of have like a little bit of a bond where you kind of like, hey mate, how are you? Which I think is super cool. And you can travel anywhere in the world and you see another surfer and you kind of like feel like you're on the same page. and you can relate or automatically. So I think that side of things is cool. But yeah, the surf industry side of things, I think it's in a different transition at the moment where, things are changing and it's not necessarily what's best. Coming down to check bells. It's looking pretty good today. It's to be sort of solid 6 feet still, I think. Last night it definitely peaked, but the wind was howling onshore. So today's nice and glassy, a bit smaller, a bit more manageable. So we should be able to get a couple of fun ones, I'm thinking. Glorious day. Look at it. Sunny, waves. I think we're out there, Stevie. Look at this. It's like the little inside 4-footers are the best waves for sure. Look at that thing. So perfect. Tide's still going out too. That's how hard to get into them they were yesterday. They were like, if you weren't on the lump, it was just, you were like, there was no chance of getting it. It's like a really raw, it must have been so windy out to sea because they were so raw, the waves. Look at these little like 3-footers. Look at that. So fun. Last year I was pretty lucky. We got a caravan and went away for 3.5 months with my wife and kids. So we basically surfed and fished every day for a while. We ended up in the Northern Territory, which was an amazing experience. Look at this wave. Hey, you'd be sitting in there, not even sitting out the back. Look at that. Look how fun that is. Watch this next little one. On that. Hit. I think, as a brand, it's important to support, good causes, whether they're environmental causes or things that help people who are struggling with mental illness and depression. When you're close to it and you've lost people because of depression and mental illness, I think it's really good as a company to support those things and help raise more awareness, raise obviously much needed funds to help charities reach out to more people who are struggling. But yeah, I think it's you're almost being a business, if you are doing well, it's you've got a social obligation to help those in need, and we're in a fortunate enough position where we can help things that are really close to us and mean a lot. I love looking at when the water runs out, see the smooth bits, see where it comes up and there's the shiny bits along the sand. It's really cool. I feel like even when I was at high school, I don't know how long, 15 years ago or whatever, no one talked about it. You didn't really understand it. And I think now it's being spoken about and you hear AFL footballers and really, popular people coming out, saying they're struggling, and it just makes it seem a lot more real, and it's everywhere now. And I think, part of the process is, if people can talk about it, then, people can actually go and help them and ask how they are. And look at this one at Centres. Runarounds. See how easy it is though, just to ride a 610 or something and you just catch them Yeah, you want to surf that bit tighter, eh? Oh, the big ones are actually not as good either. Guy's on a big board. All right, I'm out there. You know, people meditate and do yoga and all those things to stay grounded, but for me, you know, having a surf before work or after work or something that really, you know, just kind of makes me, you know, wake up and smell the roses, and I'm just so fortunate to live where I live and be, you know, living in such a good community.